Hello and welcome to Follow the Money. I'm Robert Tan. Join us as we explore the tools and insights you need to jumpstart your financial journey. Today on Follow the Money, we're taking a closer look at the state of the Philippine tech economy, the challenges, gaps, and opportunities defining our digital future. Despite being avid tech users, the country has yet to produce a tech unicorn or a truly global tech brand. From AI disruption to slow internet, low funding, and cyber threats, why are we lagging and what will it take to build a tech ecosystem that lasts? And joining us to break it all down is Erick Kalugdan, tech entrepreneur and innovation strategist. Welcome to Follow the Money, Erick. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, Erick, let's start this off. Now, where does the Philippine IT sector truly stand today in terms of economic contribution, jobs, and innovation?
Well, for the IT industry for the Philippines, I think our advantage is that we have the English language command, and we have the BPO industry, which is leading in the IT industry. And we also have a lot of developers who actually are very skillful. We have engineers that are skillful in building applications, not only for our country, but also for different other countries, international applications.
Now, Erick, we're very heavy tech consumers, but not really global tech producers. Now, what's causing this disconnect in innovation and output here in the Philippines?
Well, I believe majority of our tech users are really consumers, consuming content from social media because of entertainment, and also we're very social people, and that's why we're one of the top, before SMS capital of the world, now social media capital of the world, because we're very social, and because of that, we have a lot of tech, quote-unquote, tech users. But also we have a lot of engineers. They're just not that popular, but we have a lot of engineers who are making waves in the development of applications for different companies from both local and abroad. So I believe we have that potential. We just need to promote it better and make them more visible in the public.
Now, in the advent of artificial intelligence, now how is AI already changing business models and employment here in the Philippines? And what risks or gains do you foresee?
Well, for businesses and AI, I would consider AI as a multiplier. It's a productivity tool for businesses. There are a lot of businesses right now, especially those selling online in Lazada and Shopee and TikTok Shop, that sell, they call budol products, 100 peso and below. They're very small, but if you multiply it, they get actually orders in the thousands per day. And for you to get inquiries about those products, it takes a lot of effort if you use a human support. So those inquiries are now handled by AI, because with AI, they can understand different languages from English, Tagalog, Cebuano, Ilocano, what have you. They understand it, and they have the information they need to answer those inquiries. And AI also doesn't sleep, so it's available 24/7. If there's a customer having their midnight stock and suddenly wants to buy an item in Lazada, Shopee, and inquires about the product, AI can actually answer them. So it enables businesses to process thousands of inquiries from customers because of AI. Now, for employees as well, if you use AI, you can use it as a productivity tool as well, which multiplies your productivity, which is why we're getting paid. And you can use AI to generate maybe first drafts of a proposal or first drafts of a letter to a client or an email to a client. And it can also document minutes of the meeting. Like if you have a meeting with the board of directors, a board meeting, for example, you just let AI listen to the conversation, and AI will document it, generate the minutes of the meeting, and even create to-dos for each individual in the meeting.
Now, Erick, you mentioned that AI does lead to some point certain productivity in one's work. But there's another school of thought that says that with the advent of AI, sometimes it either makes a person lazy because you just ask a question and the answers are readily available. And maybe in the future, sometimes, some are scared that it will displace a lot of workers. Do you also see that as one risk factor?
Yes, well, actually, let's address first the lazy concept. Those people who are actually very productive are lazy because they look for automated ways to do things. So they're able to create or do tens of items or tens of tasks for a very small time frame because they use tools to multiply their productivity. Now, in terms of losing your job, we always tell people that AI will not replace your job, but people who use AI will replace your job. So it's very important for everyone, especially those working, to take advantage of the AI tools that we have right now so that your productivity will multiply, and that's what companies are looking for.
Does that change the mindset in the way people think now about working smart or working hard?
Yeah, well, definitely.
Where's the line
using
there?
AI is working smart. Yes, and when you work hard, part of using AI as a tool, the hard part is to give the right questions.
Yes.
Like what you're doing right now. You can extract the right information from your interviewee if you ask the right questions, right?
Yes.
So it's the same thing with AI. That's why there's a new role right now called prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is basically being a host and knowing the right questions to ask AI so that you get the right answers in AI. That's part of the hard work. And using AI by itself is already working smart. So I'd say, yeah, use AI as much as possible and start studying right now if you're not yet familiar with the terms AI, LLM, prompts, and so on. Start searching them and studying how they work.
Now, Eric, looking at our IT infrastructure here in the Philippines, our internet remains among the slowest and the most expensive in Asia. Now, how does this drag down our growth and global competitiveness?
Well, it drags, I'd say, slightly. Before, when it was just dial-up, then it's a significant problem. But now with 100 Mbps, 1 Gbps, it's not that major of an effect because chat, for example, is just text-based. The most is video, which is okay right now. Even with your mobile phone, you can watch a video without buffering. Remember those days when we were buffering, right?
Dial-up.
Dial-ups. And right now, it's not that very concerning in terms of development of our capability, especially using AI and productivity tools.
Now, in terms of private funding, we see a lot of tech startups being funded by the private sector. But looking now inward in government, do you think that government investment in digital economy right now is sufficient, or are we still lacking in terms of vision, policy, and infrastructure? Like we were mentioning high cost of internet, and we're still one of the slowest here in Asia.
Yeah, well, the government, I've just checked recently, the government right now has this 2.5 billion peso fund to improve our IT infrastructure and our IT strategy. In fact, they created NAIS, N-A-I-S, National AI Strategy for the Philippines, which focuses on developing AI developers, use of AI for good governance, use of AI for the industry, for academia as well. So I believe they're doing their best in doing this, but they can still do more.
Now, why aren't more Filipino investors backing local tech startups here? And how do you think we can change that narrative?
I believe investors are just looking for proof of concept and also a proof that it's really a product market fit. And if they see that it works in a small scale, they'll be able to be convinced to invest more and scale it up, make it international.
You've been in the IT sector for quite some time, more than 20 years now. Which do you think are the untapped sectors, like, let's say, agriculture or logistics, that can unlock new economic value through tech if barriers were removed?
Yeah, agriculture actually has a lot of potential. I believe in the Philippine GDP, majority is agriculture, right? So there are a lot of, especially right now, AI applications in the agriculture industry, like how do you use the right pesticides, for example, for certain plants, and you can use AI, send the AI a photo of what's happening in the plant, and it will tell you what that insect is or pest and what to recommend and so on. They can also do, once AI is connected with robotics, it can also do the planting for you, the watering of the plants for you, and so on, and even getting climate information, so you get ready how to make growing crops more efficient and eventually increase the productivity of our farms.
Now, we've been discussing how IT can lead to more productivity, how it can help the industry. But now let's look on the other side with the rising threats of hacking, deepfakes and AI, online disinformation. How vulnerable are Filipino businesses and the public? And what's the urgent fix right now? We've seen a lot of hacking of government websites, private websites, getting a lot of customer information. How do we now fix this problem here in the Philippines?
Yeah, well, we really right now need to do a lot of information campaigns. Just how governments do their information campaigns, we really have to inform people that right now it's very easy to create deepfakes. Deepfakes are basically videos of some personality like you.
It's getting better and better, and
something
harder to recognize nowadays.
Yeah, very hard to recognize. And eventually we'll have a time where you really won't trust any video online and just settle for face-to-face meetings, right? Especially if it involves financial transactions. So there are actually right now videos of Elon Musk endorsing a certain investment.
Yes.
Right? It's a deep fake. We know that. So before you give away your hard-earned money, make sure that you know that person, or maybe you've seen him face-to-face. Because if not, it's a lot of probability that it's a deep fake. So we have to inform people that it happens, and other forms of scam and fraud, we have to inform them how it works, so that people will be safe in their online transactions.
In the IT community that you're in, industry, what kind of communication do you have with other IT sectors for us to be able to, let's say, detect that kind of deep fakes that are getting better and better, and how we can get security stronger and get away from hacking?
Get away from hacking and security is a totally specialized industry, so we just leave it to the professionals. In terms of being a victim of fraud and scams, we really have to know how it works and how to avoid them. So again, we have to inform people, do a massive campaign on how we do that. And in terms of communicating with other players in the industry, we have Facebook groups, social media groups, communities, where we exchange these latest hacking, these latest deepfakes, so that we're also informed and inform the other people that this is a fake, don't do it. In fact, I was a victim just last week. Somebody was trying to impersonate one of the CEOs that I was working for and asking for 20,000 peso GCash in advance. And I went to the office of the CEO and said, "Did you send me this message?" And good thing he was there and he confirmed that it wasn't him. It was via Viber, because in Viber, you can actually upload anybody's photo and use anybody's name and assume that it's you. Right? So everyone using Viber, please be careful that people asking for money, verify if they're really the person who is asking for that money.
And also unverified links, right?
Yes.
It still gets into the system, even in text messages, even with all these security in place.
Yeah, well, those links that go through the SMS, because right now all telcos, GlobeSmart, Dito, is blocking SMS that with links. Those that go through it are those that are using that illegal cell sites. So they have this machine given a certain radius. If your phone connects to that machine, it can send anything, including links. So we really have to be wary about links inside SMS messages.
Okay, Eric, we're just getting warmed up. Still a lot to discuss. Follow the Money returns after a short break. You're still watching Follow the Money. Erick Kalugdan, tech entrepreneur, is still here to help us break down the Philippine tech sector from jobs to AI to investors. Okay, Eric, now you've survived global tech cycles, being in the IT industry for quite some time now. What lessons from past disruptions can guide today's techpreneurs?
Well, for me, in my business, in IT, it's always about prayers. We don't know what will happen in the next 5 years, 2 years, especially with AI right now. They're predicting AI to be better 3 times every year. So we don't know what will happen during that time. And the only way to do is to pray for wisdom, which method that we should go to, and make sure that we're always updated. That's why you keep on learning, like successful people always have this lifelong learning principle that you really have to learn the latest and be ahead of everybody so that you know where to move and how to move.
Now, Eric, do you think AI and automation is threatening BPO jobs? And if that is the case, can we reskill in time, or are we facing a deeper structural employment crisis in this sector?
Yeah, there are certain BPO jobs that will really be affected. Right now, those jobs that entail text chat are very affected. The non-voice right now. Because if you put generative AI like ChatGPT and have an FAQ built into it, it will be able to answer customer inquiries. So you don't need so many people to answer 1,000 inquiries. But in terms of voice, it's just starting, but it's not impossible. It's starting that AI now has a voice, that it will understand voice inquiries. In fact, if you call the Microsoft support right now, even if you're not a client, you can call Microsoft. If you call them, the person who will answer that is an AI. So before, when you call for support, you have to press 1 to do this, press 2 to do that. Now it's not pressing any numbers anymore. You just tell that voice what you need and what you want, and it will answer you.
Doesn't that cause let's say, a problem of personalization, customer experience in terms of if they have a problem for a certain product and they need help? A lot still want to talk to a real person. Now, how does that affect this industry?
Well, I'm not sure about those customers who want to talk to a person, especially if it's a customer support. But I believe customers, majority of them, they call for support because they need something solved. And if that's their purpose, they call to solve something, they don't mind if it's AI, if it's a AI voice, or if it's a person, as long as they solve their problem.
Not just for ranting.
Yeah, not just for ranting, correct. Well, that's another advantage of AI. Even if you rant, there's actually an AI coach that you can rant to. Meron na. Yeah, and you can rant to, and it will listen to you just for you to rant. And yeah, it happens. Now, what can BPOs do is, again, upskill, maybe reskill. And before you get to that level where AI answers customer inquiries or chats or answers customers' calls, you have to train the AI. So those BPOs who are experts, those subject matter experts, needs to learn how to train AI. Because whether they train or not, AI will eventually do their job. So better go that route where you train AI and you get paid to train them.
True. Yeah. Now, looking at the OFWs, now how can they play a bigger role beyond the remittances that they send to the Philippines by becoming part of a digital diaspora as investors, let's say tech users, or startup backers? Because a lot of the OFWs do look for investment opportunities, but sometimes they don't know where to put their money.
Yes, there's actually one very popular Filipino abroad, Sir Dado Banatao, who invented the concept of GPUs, which is now the foundation of NVIDIA. And he would be the best example of somebody outside the Philippines, invented something, created fortunes, and now an angel investor and also investing in startups. He actually developed or created a program before, up to now, an incubation program in AIM, Asian Institute of Management, to develop and incubate startups.
Okay.
So I believe our other OFWs would be able to do that and fund startups in the Philippines to create solutions, applications that are applicable globally.
Do you see more people like him doing that?
I'm praying for more people like him doing that. Yeah.
Okay, now Eric, we've yet to produce a tech unicorn here in the Philippines. Now, what are we still missing, and what bold reforms could finally get us there to that point?
Right now, majority of the technology in the Philippines or tech companies in the Philippines are focused on addressing the problems of the Philippine market. They have to increase their scope and address the global needs, the global tech needs of the world, so that you reach that level of a unicorn. And we also need support from the government, make everything easier, more efficient, and also the academe training more engineers who will be able to help develop and create all these solutions that we need.
What else must change, whether it be in policy, funding, or mindset of entrepreneurs, to build a real startup ecosystem here that survive beyond incubation? Sometimes during incubation, it just stops.
Yeah. Well, one is the good thing you mentioned, mindset. Majority of the Filipinos don't have that entrepreneurial mindset. That's why we're also doing some free entrepreneurial workshops to change the mind of the Filipino that there's not only one way of earning income, which is employment. There's also another way, which is being your own entrepreneur. So they really have to start thinking like an entrepreneur so that they look for solutions, whether that be using technology, using AI, or whatever, and eventually create a big business for everyone. So maybe it's time for us Filipinos to starting a small business and growing it to be bigger.
Now, looking at mindsetting also. Now, finally, Eric, what's your message to aspiring Filipino tech founders navigating global giants, local gaps, and rising digital threats?
Yeah, so start learning how everything works. I mean, start learning how running a business and thriving as a business works. Study the tools that they're using. Right now, AI is there, which will help you as well. You can even use AI to create your own business plan to validate your concept if it will have a product market fit. So you can use all the tools that are available right now and learn from all those tools. And the number one thing that you have to do is execute.
So we can't get away from AI. We must adapt.
We must adapt. Yeah, we must adapt to using AI for our advantage.
Okay, Eric, let's go to our rapid fire questions. Just say yes or no. You don't need to explain your answer. Let's start with this. Will the Philippines get a tech unicorn before we get decent Wi-Fi in all barangays? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, do most local investors still ghost startups harder than their Tinder matches?
Yes.
Do local investors treat startups like bad Tinder matches, swipe left and never look back?
No.
Okay. Is pivoting just a fancy way to say we ran out of money?
No.
Would you trust a startup pitch that begins with, bro, listen?
No.
Okay. Is AI the new third wheel, stealing your job and stealing your heart?
Yes.
And finally, Eric, complete the sentence. Money is the root of all
progress and prosperity.
All right. Thank you for that, Eric. Thank you for your insights on the IT industry here in the Philippines. We learned a lot from that, and hopefully one day we will have our tech unicorn.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Thank you, Erick Kalugdan, tech entrepreneur, for joining us on Follow the Money. Your insights into the Philippine tech sector, from innovation and jobs to AI investors and infrastructure, have given us a clearer picture of the challenges and opportunities ahead. And before we go, here's a shot of truth from billionaire entrepreneur and investor Mark Cuban. Artificial intelligence, deep learning, machine learning, whatever you're doing, if you don't understand it, learn it because otherwise you're going to be a dinosaur within 3 years. And that's it for today's edition of Follow the Money. I'm Robert Tan. Thanks for watching. Keep it here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.